Hello everyone, my name is Jocelyn, you may call me Joy, and in this video we're looking at memes again, only we're going down the dark path, and today's memes are going to be bad. I did the bad thing and I looked for anti-LGBTQ memes with kind of a not so good flavour. Little confession before we get started though, this is actually the second time I'm looking at these memes because I recorded a video of my genuine reactions to them and then I deleted that video thinking that it was a different one. So when I came to edit it, it wasn't there. Big oops on my part. But hopefully if I share these with you and hopefully I'll remember what I said and same kind of reaction that I had, should be able to convey that to you, that by looking at these we can see into the minds a little bit of some not so great people and just be aware and warned of the badness that's out there. So let's get comfortable and have a look at these finely curated bad memes. Okay, so this is a conversation on, I think, Twitter, and it says Demi Lovato, you know, the prominent singer, says there is no legitimate reason to ban transgender troops, period. And there's a reply saying, except when you are in a life or death situation and you aren't comfortable trusting the person next to you. But that doesn't matter, right? And the person underneath has written a very clever reply saying, Brian, the enemy has surrounded us and we have nowhere to run. I don't think that we are going to get out of this. I have a plan that might save us, but I don't know if I can trust you. Hurry, show me your dick. It's the only way, Brian. The only way. This is, of course, very silly, because not only do we have clearly a transphobic attitude in the reply, but also a really funny takedown in the reply to the reply. I like that. It's great. It does sort of show just how ridiculous transphobia is in any kind of setting, not just the military, but, you know, it basically just outlines why it's silly to, like, care about who's trans and who's not, because it doesn't affect their ability to do the job that they are doing. Like, most jobs don't involve genitals. And the ones that do, well, that's kind of what people are looking for anyway, if you know what I mean. But the other thing I want to point out about this is in this reply, the person saying, like, about being comfortable trusting someone. Like, why would you not trust someone who's trans? We aren't inherently untrustworthy people. Like, if you know someone is trans, there's no deception going on. And if you don't know that someone's trans, it's none of your goddamn business anyway. Certainly, genitals don't usually matter in a life or death situation. So, yeah, just silliness. Oh, here's something that looks like it was like in a comment section somewhere. So Philip Batterham says, this video is misleading, possibly deliberately so. There are people born with Y chromosomes who are female and it is not that rare. To say so is not leftists. You just need an education in genetics. Further, there are people born intersex and it's genetic. The reply says, you look like a nice guy, Philip, but she is a pediatrician. I'm guessing the she here is the person who made the video. And then Philip replies, and I am the president of the International Genetics Federation. Schooled! So this, I think, highlights the difference between the whole basic biology argument that keeps popping up versus, you know, actual specialized advanced biology. We are, mostly all of us are taught at some point that XY chromosomes denote someone who is male and XX chromosomes denote someone who is female. But that's more of a generalization. It's not a hard and fast rule within biology. Like, biology is messy and it's not always accurate, and it's not always like this means this, always. There are some outliers within nature. You know, it just happens. And understanding that is really good key to losing all of that silly bigotry that people keep hold of. Like, and it doesn't even take that much effort to research more thoroughly, in depth, about what chromosomes do, what genetics do for, like, in the sake of intersex people. All you have to do is look it up. The information is there online. It's not some part of a fucking agenda or anything. It's just, this is observable science. The people that claim to love science so much seem to be so averse to looking at any sort of nuanced, in-depth research. Sad. Sad, basically. But go Philip. Oh God. Okay, so this is a photo of Caitlyn Jenner, and the caption underneath reads, "Believe in something, even if it means cutting your dick off." So, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Caitlyn Jenner is a garbage human being. And quite frankly, it's ironic that someone would post like the words "believe in something" underneath her image, because she seems to believe in nothing. She is a bit of a grifter, someone who keeps spouting right-wing talking points, parroting them to right-wing audiences, and then they end up not liking her anyway just because of who she is. And when I say right-wing here, I am talking about extremists. People who watch Fox News kind of extremists. I'm not even going to dignify the rest of that sentence because it's just hyperfixating over what surgery somebody has or has not had is very intrusive, as well as just sad and pathetic. So there's that. Now, I would ordinarily just say, shut up, let her get on and live her life. But it's Caitlyn Jenner, and she won't take a step back from the fame that she's acquired because of well, I don't know why the hell she's famous. I know she used to be an Olympian back in like the 70s. Does that qualify as being famous? You know? And now she's just a well-known trans woman who shits all over other trans people. We can dismiss without further comment. So this is a photo of someone holding a sign saying, "Is it transphobic to say only women can get pregnant?" So, in short, the answer to that question is yes. Yes, it is. First of all, the answer is obvious here. Like, some people who can get pregnant are men or non-binary people. These are not women by definition. Also, a lot of people who are considered women, who are cis women, cannot get pregnant. So there's also that. What really gets me about this, though, is why would you make a sign and publicly show your ass like this? Again, metaphorically. Why show your ignorance to the entire world like this? It might be that he's pulling a bit of a Steven Crowder change my mind moment. I think it's just someone who's either misinformed, not informed enough, or just being a public troll, public nuisance right there, you know. And also being transphobic as well. The ability to get pregnant doesn't define someone's womanhood. I mean, it does in conservative circles, but because they just love to control women's bodies and the bodies of people who are not them. When we're talking about women and men, these are social categories. When we're talking about males and females, these are biological categories. There's a difference here between sex and gender. Okay, we've got a meme here with two panels. The first one says, trans rights activists begging people not to buy and promote the new Harry Potter game because it indirectly supports transphobic groups. Mainstream internet and even moderate leftists. No, fuck you, you were too pushy and I can do what I want. And the image underneath says, like, vegans saying, first time. So there's a lot here already. There is a lot here already. But let's keep going. You've got the Lisa Simpson meme saying, nowhere near our first time, and to be honest, it's gross to use condescending memes to refer to a minority that is constantly mocked, denied healthcare, alienated, and I can't read that. Undermined. Minority groups should stand together in solidarity, not undermine each other. The first part, I haven't seen any trans people or trans rights activists begging that people not buy the new Harry Potter game. Begging is the wrong word here. Advising, explaining what the effects are. You know, if you want to hear out from a trans perspective why it would not be a great idea to do, then Jessie Gender made a really good video explaining in full detail, looking at all the different sides and aspects of, you know, the pro, the against arguments there. It does take a certain amount of willing to listen, to think about what you are doing, where you are putting your money, where you are putting your like financial support. And I'm personally in favor of not buying the game, doing a boycott if you will. Obviously, I believe in boycotts. You know, I believe in voting with your money. I believe that people who are going off the rails, who refuse to buy Bud Light, for example, just because they sponsored a trans woman, and those people who are boycotting it don't like trans people, like, they have every right to do that. Whinging and crying like babies on the internet, throwing beer around, Kid Rock shooting a crate with an assault rifle, sending Dylan Mulvaney personally hate messages, like, those are not okay things to do. Hi, Editing Joy here. I have a cold, I feel like shit. You can probably hear it in my voice. And I've changed my hair, which you will see in the next few videos. But I wanted to clarify something that I noticed while I was editing this part of the video about the Kid Rock comment that I made. So, while it is, on the surface level, fine to take a crate of beer that I presume he purchased or somebody else purchased on his behalf and do what he wants to it, including, you know, shooting it up with a fucking rifle. It's not causing anybody else any harm, but it's still not an okay thing to do because it's sending a message that's quite violent and suggesting that that is acceptable. And when I say it's not okay, that's really more of an indicator of his mental state not being okay. Him being so deeply affected, so triggered, if you will, by a company sponsoring a person who is an online celebrity kind of person, having such a negative, violent reaction to someone who I'm guessing he's probably never even met. And doing that just because he thinks it's anti-woke or something, like that speaks to a very weirdly, like, unbalanced person mentally. So even if his action didn't directly harm anybody, it still doesn't suggest that he's entirely all okay in that sense. I hope that makes, a little bit of clarification anyway. Back with the video. Now, the thing about vegans is that I've never known any vegan to be pushy about what they believe and what they do and, don't do regarding food. I myself made a video about vegans, I think it was last year. A lot of the time when people react to vegans or react to people who support trans people, like, it's not because we're being pushy, it's because we're expressing an opinion and then those people don't like it and they accuse us of being pushy, and that is condescending. And again, I couldn't agree with the lower part of this meme more. It's funny how we're seeing negative ones that I just Google searched, like, bad, anti-LGBT memes. And so far, a lot of it has been bad, but then also good responses. It's funny how that works. Okay, next meme. We've got, in democratic America, if this girl sees a penis at a party, it's a crime. But if this girl sees a penis in the women's bathroom, it's tolerance. This is tiresome. This is very tiresome. Anyone who sees anybody's genitals without consent, there is something wrong going on there. Okay? Just putting that out there straight away, blanket statement. Second of all, trans women who use women's facilities, who have penises, do not start waving them about. I don't know what transphobes think goes on in these spaces, but I have never been in a bathroom, like, a public restroom type place. I've never seen anyone's genitals because everyone goes into a cubicle, shuts the door, does their business, and then when the door opens again, they're, like, fully clothed again. So it's not a thing. It's not a thing that you see other people's bits. And again, if you are seeing somebody else's, oh God. If anybody is flashing anything in a public restroom or at a party or wherever in public without people consenting, that is a problem. Okay, so this meme, this is the last one I've got because one of them is just, I've saved it and it's too blurry to read. So this one is of someone who looks like a man in a girl's changing room, and he says, "It's okay, ladies, I'm a female," and they're all looking at him like, what the fuck, there goes my right to privacy, I'm scared. This apparently is what transphobes think happens in changing rooms. And no. No. You see quite clearly that this is portraying someone who is not only male presenting, but also very sort of ugly and pervy and twisted compared to all the like cute, innocent, tiny girls. That's deliberate. Someone who looks like that could never really get away with going into a woman's space to like do any kind of private changing or anything like that without getting weird stares. And just saying I identify as something isn't enough to make it acceptable in a lot of people's minds. Now, if this is a trans person who is pre-transition, it would still be very fucking uncomfortable and awkward for them to use the bathroom of the correct gender, because we are acutely aware of how much passing means in society. Being trans is not an excuse to be a perv. It never has been. It's some sort of delusional fantasy of transphobes that are pretending that it is. Trans people have not committed any like crimes or any kind of like sexual harassment or anything like that in these kinds of spaces. It would be wrong and weird, and like sex crimes are always illegal no matter where they happen. It doesn't make it more easy to access victims just by going into a space like this. That's just not what happens. Trans people, we are aware of how our bodies look, how they are different from cis people's bodies, and we like to hide that as much as possible. We don't want to highlight that. Cannot believe how many times I have had to say that. So anyway, that's all from this video. Let's try and end it on a positive note. Yeah, let's all point and laugh at the transphobes for being silly. Alright. Well, that's it from me for now. I will see you again soon. And yeah, non-binary is valid. God damn it. Bye. First of all,